Hello, children. Today we are going to read about The Thief's Story written by Ruskin Bond. Now let's talk about the author of the story, Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born on 19th May 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. He lives in Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. Now let's read the story. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. There are two main characters of the story, Anil and the thief. The story starts from the point where these two meet each other. The thief is the narrator of the story and is just 15 years old. He says that he was an experienced and fairly successful hand, which means that according to him, he was pretty good at stealing. Fairly successful hand means to have an expertise in something, so he was an expert thief. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. Anil was watching a wrestling match when the thief, that is the narrator, approached him. Anil was a tall, lean, and an easygoing man of 25. I hadn't had much luck of late means he did not have much luck in the past. He had not committed any theft in the past few days as he did not get a chance. He thought that Anil would be a good man to steal things from. So he thought about getting comfortable with him. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. The thief commented on Anil that he looks like a wrestler himself. He said that to win his confidence by flattering him. To this, Anil replied that even the thief looked like a wrestler, which offended him. Why? Because he was very thin at that time and he very well knew that he did not look like a wrestler. But still, he modestly replied that he did wrestle a bit sometimes. What's your name? Hari Singh. I lied. I took a new name every month that kept me ahead of the police and my former employees. Anil asked his name and the narrator lied that his name was Hari Singh. The narrator used to change his name every month. Why did you do so? He changed his name every time because he wanted to escape the police and his ex-employers whom he had befooled. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said. Now, here they started talking about the well oiled wrestlers. Well oiled wrestlers means the wrestlers who apply oil on their body. And they were watching these wrestlers on the screen and they were grunting and lifting and throwing each other. Grunting means to make a low, short, guttural sound. And Hari did not have much to say as he did not know much about wrestling. So, as Anil was leaving, he again approached him asking him that he wanted to work for him and gave him the most appealing smile that he could. But I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, Can you feed me? Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. So Anil told him that he won't be able to pay him for his work. Hari did not expected this reply and thought to himself that he had misjudged Anil, as he had thought that Anil had a lot of money. Hari then asked if he could feed him, to which Anil instantly asked if he could cook. Hari lied again, once again. He said, yes, I can cook. So Anil replied that if Hari could cook, then he could feed him. He took me to his room over the Jumna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he could not help laughing. So both of them went to Anil's room, which was above the Jumna sweet shop. Anil also told Hari that he could sleep in the balcony. Hari said that the meal that he cooked that night must have been terrible as Anil had to give it away to a stray dog. Then he told Hari to go and sleep, but Hari decided to stay for a while. Hari's smile was so appealing that Anil could not stop laughing looking at him. Later, he patted me on the head and said, never mind. He would teach me to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. After some time, Anil patted on Hari's head and told him that he would teach him to cook. He also told him how to write his name and told him that he would soon teach him to write sentences and add numbers also. So Hari was grateful for what Anil had planned, as he knew that there would be no limits to his work once he knew how to write. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about a rupee a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Hari actually enjoyed working for Anil. He used to make tea for him in the morning and then used to go out to buy groceries for the day. He would also keep 1 rupee in his pocket every day from the money that Anil used to give him for daily groceries. Anil knew that he took a rupee every day, but he did not mind. He was fine with it. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, it would go out. He would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. Anil did not have any regular income as he used to earn money by doing different activities. He did not have any fixed job. Hari says that Anil used to be worried about his paychecks all the time, but as soon as he would receive a check, he would go out with his friends and celebrate. Hari thinks that he used to write for magazines. He also feels it to be a very strange way to make money. One evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. Then suddenly, one evening, Anil came home with some money and told Hari that he had just sold a book to a publisher. Before going to bed, Anil put the money under his mattress and Hari saw him putting the money there. I had been working for Anil for almost a month and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door and I could come and go as I pleased. Hari thought that he had been working for Anil for almost a month now and he had not cheated him apart from the 1 rupee that he used to take out daily. As he says, had not done anything in my line of work. Line of work means the principal activity, the main activity in your life that you do to earn money. So here his main activity to earn money is stealing. He also thinks that He had every chance to steal, as Anil had given him the key to his room as well, and he could come and go whenever he wished to do so. Hari had been trusted upon by Anil the most. He was the most trusting person I had ever met, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it is difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Very interesting. Hari had not been trusted upon by anyone else in his life. So, this was the only thing that was stopping Hari from stealing, as Hari thought that it is very easy to rob a greedy man because he has the capability or the money to get robbed as he knows about what he has lost. But for a careless man like Anil, there was no use to steal, as they sometimes don't even come to know that they've been robbed. Also, Hari feels that when someone doesn't come to know that he has been robbed, then there is no fun left in robbing him. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself, I'm out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Now, Hari decided that he would start with some work. He had not robbed anyone for a long time. He also justified his act of stealing Anil's money by telling himself that if he did not steal it, then also Anil would waste it on his friends. He also thought that he had a right cover. He had a right over the money, as Anil did not even pay him for the work he used to do. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor, considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Hari started his work when Anil was sleeping. So there was a little bit light over Anil's bed because of the moonlight that was coming in from the window. Hari sat on the floor and planned that if he took the money, he could leave the city by the 10:30 p.m. Lucknow express train. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Hari then crawled towards the bed and slipped his hand slowly inside the bed mattress, as he knew that the money is there under the mattress. He looked at Anil, who was sleeping peacefully without a single line on his face. And Hari's face had so many scars on it. He realized that although he was much younger than Anil, he had such a bad appearance due to his wrong thinking. On the other hand, Anil was carefree and thought good for others, because of which he had such a nice face. My hand slid under the mattress searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. Hari then took out the notes without making any sound, and Anil took a breath in his sleep and turned his side. He was directly facing Hari, which scared him a bit, and Hari quickly left the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. As soon as Hari left the room and was on the road, he started running and had kept the notes in his pajamas. So he had tied it with the string of his pajama he was wearing. Then, after a while, Hari slowed down and counted the notes. He had 12 notes of 50 rupees each, which made it 600 rupees. Then Hari thought to himself that with this much money he could live a luxurious life like an Arabian sheikh for at least 2 weeks. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. So when Hari reached the station, he straight away went to the platform. Why? Because he never bought a ticket in his life. So he straight away went to the platform without buying a ticket, as he had never bought a ticket in his life. So he had always traveled without a ticket. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages. But I hesitated for some reason. I can't explain. And I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. When he reached the platform, the Lucknow Express in which he had to go was just leaving the platform. The train was still slow, so he could have easily jumped and got on one of the carriages, but he did not do so. There was a bit of hesitation in him. Even he did not understand why he had that hesitation inside him. Because of that, he could not board the train. After some time, when the train had left, Hari found himself all alone at the empty, deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. Hari did not know where would he spend the night. He did not have any friends whom he could go to, as he used to think that friends were more of a trouble than being helpful. And I did not want to make anyone curious, but by staying at one of the small hotels near the station, the only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. So he did not even want to stay at any of the small hotels, as that would attract attention that he's carrying some money. He knew only one person very well, and he was nobody else but the person whom he had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. So, as Hari was walking through the bazaar after leaving the station, he was thinking of his observations as a thief. In a short career span, he had realized that although everybody from rich to poor shows different reactions to losing their goods, but Anil would only be a little sad. That too would not be because he lost his money, but because he has lost trust that he had on Hari. So he would be sad that he trusted someone so much and the person had betrayed him. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and a little drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. Hari was walking when he reached a park. He sat on a bench. As it was the month of November, the night was a bit chilly, and then the drizzle added to the discomfort that Hari was going through. It started raining quite heavily, and Hari's shirt and pajamas stuck to his body. It was very cold. Cold wind was blowing across Hari's face, so he was feeling bitterly cold. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. Then Hari went back towards the bazaar and sat under the shelter of the clock tower to escape getting wet. It was 12 o'clock by the clock tower. Hari checked the notes and he found that they were wet. Then again, Hari started thinking that it was Anil's money, and if he had not stolen it, Anil would have surely given him 2 or 3 rupees to go for a movie. But now he had stolen it and he had it all. I could not cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. Now he won't be able to make tea or do groceries for Anil anymore, nor would he be able to learn to write whole sentences ever. He had not realized that he would be losing all these in the excitement of stealing the money. He knew that if he could learn to read and write, he could earn much more money than these few hundred rupees, and that too honestly. He felt that he should go back if he wanted to learn to read and write, and also if he wanted to be a big man one day. Big man in the sense, a respectable, honorable person in the society. He knew that it was very easy to steal something from someone, but sometimes it was that easy to get caught as well. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. He knew that if he learned to read and write, he could surely become a big and respected man one day. So he went back to Anil's room and was very nervous. Why? Because he knew that it was much more difficult to return stolen things without being caught and actually stealing it. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway. In clouded moonlight, Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. Hari went to the hallway and stood there as the moonlight was still falling over the bed. Anil was still asleep. Hari went near the head of the bed and took out the notes. As he was going near the mattress, his hand could feel Anil's breath on his hand. So Hari became still for a moment. Then he found the edge of the mattress and finally slipped the notes under it. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hands towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. So the next morning when Hari woke up, he was a little late and Anil had already made the tea by then. Anil extended his hand towards Hari and he had a 50-rupee note in his hand. Hari thought he had been caught. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. Then suddenly Anil explained that he had made some money the day before and so he was giving him 50 rupees and he also said that he would be paying him regularly now. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. My spirits rose means Hari was really happy. But when he took the note in his hand, he saw that it was still wet from the last night. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. He also told Hari that that day he would teach him how to write complete sentences. Hari realized that Anil had come to know that he had stolen money and kept it back. But the great thing that happened was that he did not let it show on his face or his words. Hari again smiled at Anil in the most appealing way, and Anil's smile also came to his face without any effort. Anil smiled in most appealing way. Why do you think Hari smiled in the most appealing way? Actually, on earlier occasions, Hari Singh's smile had been artificial. It was full of flattery, but in the end, his smile was real. It was genuine. It was natural, and hence appealing. Okay. I hope you enjoyed reading the story. Thank you, children. See you soon with the next lesson.